Good evening. Welcome to Wolfe County High School for today's action between Wolves Blue and the Doss High School Dragons. Today's matchup features two of the best teams in the state as they look to clinch a better position for playoffs starting next week. So we're going to check in on our champ select, see how the Wolves Blue are doing.
We get right off the bat with Wolfe County banning LeBlanc and Ash. Meanwhile, what's the school called?
Doss.
Doss banning Nassus and Vane, starting the top laner and the bot laner.
Yep.
We go back now to the last ban for the first wave as they ban an Ahri. Ahri's a good champion to ban. She's got very strong, very hard counterplay mid lane. If she lands her charm, it's basically the end of it for you if you get caught in that. So, good to get that out of the way. Now we go back to the last ban for Doss?
Yep.
Doss, okay.
Doss Dragons.
Doss Dragons, okay. Banning Nautilus. All right. And now we go to the beginning of the pick phase now. The first pick being for top lane, picking Kai'Sa for his ADC. All right, yeah, we have Wolfe County locking in Kai'Sa for the ADC. As you go now to the Zed lock-in for the top laner for Doss. I go for a Sejuani pick for the jungle.
Nope.
Or no, switching over to a Rek'Sai. Okay, they're hovering. Going around. As they now go, looks like they might be going with maybe a Ramus. Nope, going back to the Sejuani like they were hovering earlier. Yep, Sejuani lock-in. Going down to the jungle for Wolfe County, who's going to probably pick someone also equally tanky to counter and try and put as much of an effect on as Sejuani. So we're going to see maybe a Jarvan pick here. No, Nunu. Nunu being a good pick for him. Nunu's a very strong jungler. Pick for Wolfe County. Very good CC. Good team finding potential. As we now go to a Kennen pick for Wolfe County. Kennen's been banned the last few games. So Wolfe County hasn't had a chance to play them. But that is the mid laner for Wolfe County, one of his stronger champions that he plays. So good pick for Wolfe County. Might not be the best decision, Doss letting Kennen be available for Wolfe County to take. So it might come back to bite them in the butt later if they don't. And we go with a Shen pick. So it probably is a swap between top and mid lane. The pick for Zed and the pick for Shen. So yeah, I would assume Shen's the top lane. We now go back to the ban phase now, second wave of bans. We're starting off with Doss, going with the Jax ban. Decent ban. Jax is a pretty strong champion for Wolfe County's top laner. Hasn't been played very much in this season, but he's still a very good pick for him if he's given the opportunity to play him. Now go with the Wolfe County's pick, banning out Twitch. Twitch is a very he's a very strong ADC if given the opportunity to get fed, and has really good flanking potential with his ability to go invisible and just go straight towards the backline and just shred them if given that opportunity. So they got that out of the way, and we can finish off with a Leona ban for Doss. Last ban of the thing will go to Wolfe County, and they ban Tarek. Okay, so now that is all the bans. We go back now to finish off the second wave of picks, starting with a Jinx pick for Doss County. For Doss, is it?
They're Doss High School.
Doss High School. Okay.
They're from Louisville.
Louisville. Okay. They're hovering Jinx for a while now. They're probably going to pick her. And that is the Jinx lock-in. Alright, we now go with pick for the ADC for Wolfe County, who will probably be picking the top laner. So there still are people up on the table at Wolfe County's top laner picks like York and Darius. So you might maybe go with one of those. Or no, we actually go with the Alistar support pick for that. As now the last pick having to pick for their top laner for Wolfe County. As he now goes with the Fiora pick. Fiora is a very strong champion, very hard to play against. She's got a lot of built-in lifesteal and healing when she with her auto attacks, when they're passive specifically, so hard to fight her. Shen is a decent counter to Fiora, but if a good Fiora can manage to overcome the taunt and the Q from Shen to be able to still get off a lot of damage. Fiora should come out victorious with the Galio pick for the support. And as the lineup pick now for Wolfe County versus Doss High, Fiora top with might actually still be Zed top lane. It looks like it will be a Zed top lane.
So Shen will be going mid lane?
Shen mid, that's something new. I haven't seen Shen mid. Shen's a tank. Shen is mostly considered a tank. There have been builds in the past that have made him more of a damage-based champion. That is something different. I've seen Zed top. Zed top's not the most uncommon thing, but Shen mid's definitely something that's not. It's pretty weird to say the least.
All right. Well, let's see here. Let's take a look at our starting lineup for your Wolves Blue here in spring 2019. We've got. Why did I do that? We've got senior Cody Sargent in the top lane. In the bot lane, running ADC, we've got senior Jarrett White, and his support is junior Jeremy McKinney. In the jungle, we have junior Cameron Caskey, and in the mid lane, we have senior Brendan Bush. That is your Wolves Blue for spring 2019. We also want to take this time to thank our esports sponsors, Appalachian Wireless, Mountain Telephone, Licking Valley Rural Electric, Farmers and Traders Bank of Campton, Whitaker Bank of Campton, and Sweetheart by Stephanie of Campton, Kentucky. So thanks to all of our wonderful esports sponsors. Going back here to our champ selection, we have 2 minutes and 20 seconds until the loading screen. So, Drew, is there any other insights into the matchup?
Between the two teams, there is a pretty even amount of CC between the two. Both junglers have good team fight potential. No, actually, it is a Shen top lane. They did swap earlier. Okay, so it is Shen top lane and Zed mid. Shen having that taunt, some pretty good CC on his part. They have the Sejuani with her ulti, which is good CC. Galley with his AoE taunt. Some pretty heavy amount. One of the larger CC-based teams I've seen out of any team that Wolfe County's fought this season. Although Wolfe County is still becoming pretty strong with the Kennen ulti, the Nunu ult, Alistar's ult, and knockup. So between team comps, both are really strong team-oriented or team fight-oriented team compositions. Individual lane-wise, like I said, Fiora and Shen are both Shen's a pretty decent counter to Fiora, but if Fiora can overcome his Q blocking her auto attacks as well as his managing to dodge his taunt with her parry or her dash, she should be able to beat him in lane. Sejuani and Nunu is completely up in the air. Those two champs are pretty much even on their matchups. Kennen and Zed. Zed is a very just pure damage-based mid lane assassin, but Kennen also has a lot of Kennen also being sort of an assassin in the top lane gives him pretty well. His advantage over Zed being the fact that he's got a pretty strong amount of CC versus Zed with his ultimate and his stun. Zed only having his movement abilities like his W and his just amount of burst damage that he puts off. Kai'Sa and Jinx are pretty evenly matched up. Both are pretty good poke-based auto attack ADCs, and then the supports both pretty even on their CC between the two. So it's gonna be pretty much an entire toss. Just a matter of coming down to team communication will probably be the defining factor in who wins this game. So.
All right, well, we're just 20 seconds away from matchup here between Wolves Blue and Doss High School. If you haven't already subscribed, hit the subscribe button, hit that like button, and hit that little bell to get notifications every time Wolves Blue is playing this season. This is our last regular season matchup, so next week we will be going to the playoffs. Hope everybody tunes in for that. All right, we're going to switch over here to our matchup and our loading screen. We should be coming back on here momentarily as the game does load for us. that's fine.
All right. Well, now the game is loaded in. Teams are loading in their respective fountains. Wolfe County is starting on blue side this game, so there's that to take into notice. Momentarily now, and the fountain has just released the champions. Everyone's now moving the respected lanes, and seems like the camera's not lining up. Hold on, there's. There it is.
It's going. Yeah. Wait. 3, 2, 1.
Okay, the mount. Okay.
There we go.
All right, there we go. Camera's now lined on. Wolfe County's Nunu, Alistar, and Kaiza all now moving into the bot side. Wolfe County now moving down. We see Nunu, Kaiza, and Alistar waiting for the red buff to spawn. Sejuani moving over into ward behind the bush behind red jungle camp. We see Sejuani now moving back into her jungle with Galio and Jinx. And now the leashes have started. The game has begun. You see Kaiza and Alistar giving a really good leash down there to Alistar, or to Nunu, sorry. Fiora and Shen sitting in the top lane. Sitting pretty easily. Some of that early trade in from Fiora, which she's very well known as with her passive. Managing to get one of the her passive off onto Shen. We see Kennen and Zed sitting mid lane pretty even. Kennen have the ability to poke out Zed a little bit. It's gonna give him that early advantage. If he can keep that advantage, put Zed behind, he'll be able to have a pretty decent victory in this game. Both lanes trading pretty evenly. Farm just beginning, so it's a very slow game. We see Sejuani going down for the Scuttle Crab immediately after getting her blue buff. So that's a little bit interesting. We see a taunt landed on Alistar from Galio, walking back away. Fiora just poking down Shen top lane. Early trade, very much in her favor at this point. See Cannon getting an auto attack off on Zed there. Some more pokes mid lane. Good decision for Kennen to probably take barrier in that matchup mid. She's gonna be able to neglect any bit of damage from Zed will be very helpful for Kennen in this laning phase. We see the taunt Q on Fiora from Shen. We see the trades going off. Fiora getting her dash with her auto attack off, getting that passive onto Shen. Shen hitting his Q right there as well as his taunt. Just a crazy amount of trade coming in favor of Shen. We see Nunu going for maybe an early invade in the jungle against Sejuani, deciding to back off, deciding he didn't want to take a risk of losing his double buff there. Cannon being pushed back slightly in the lane. Zed moving up towards mid lane or top lane river, going to maybe aid Sejuani in trying to fight off the Nunu. So we see a missed zap from Jinx in the bot lane. Nunu on his jungle side. We see Zed moving into the jungle, going for that invade. Nunu having forced to back off, Zed going for that rotation, Kennen following up a little late, not going to be able to do much, as Zed decides to take the jungle camp. Sejuani hiding in the bush, waiting. We see Kennen coming over the wall. Shen coming in from top, Fiora sitting top lane, maybe coming in to help with that gang. Sejuani in the jungle, pushing around, trying to take a little bit of potential farm, deciding to leave lane now, or leave the jungle. Going back through to her side, we see Zed return to lane, Kennen having pushed the lane back up pretty decently since that last little bit. Nunu having backed into back to Fountain. Shen getting the taunt off onto Fiora there. Crazy amount of damage again. Shen landing those taunts is going to be very disastrous for Fiora if she can't be able to compensate and be able to dodge or parry them. Those being her only hope in those trades right there. Shen's Q also a big problem because Fiora's a champion who's pretty reliant on her auto attacks, so him able to deny her a good portion of her damage and trade potential is going to be a big hindrance to her in the early laning phase of the game. You see now Nunu moving back into the jungle, going for his Krugs now. Shen missing the taunt that time actually, so decent. I would say that looked like a sidestep on Fiora's part there, but it might have just been a miscalculation on Shen's part there. Alistar and Kaiza having the lane pushed pretty far up now, deciding to back off a little bit. Nunu coming towards bot lane. We see the double Q landed on the Kennen from Zed there in the mid lane. Zed managing to land a good portion of his skill shots there. So Kennen's going to have to be a little more cautious if he's going to want to be able to win this landing phase, because if Zed's able to get all of his abilities off onto him, Kennen's going to be managed. He's not going to be able to win these fights against Zed. Nunu coming into the main lane looking for another gank. Kennen coming with that E, managing to connect it onto Zed, getting an auto attack off. The snowball missing as the stun misses also on Shen, or on Zed, sorry. We see Sejuani also came mid there for a second to try and help with the 2v2, but it turned out nothing ended up nothing majorly ended up happening, so she decided to leave. A lot of wards bot side in favor of DOS High. Man, the ward score on their team is pretty phenomenal at this point. Having vision, well, one now just lost, but we see the ulti from Zed mid lane as Nunu manages to get the bot, but Zed's going to finish off just shredding down Nunu for first blood mid lane. We see the knock-up. We see Alistar flashing away as the zap still connects with him, almost getting taken down. So, first blood being claimed from Zed. Not the best start for Wolfe County, down currently about 700 gold at 6.5 minutes. Not a game changer by any means at this point, but just not the best start they could have gotten. Kennen now back in lane as Fiora and Nunu also decide to move back up from Fountain. The Kaiza W there connecting. Kaiza now backing under tower. Alistar probably following suit. Let's go ahead and check the CS real quick between two teams. Fiora out farming Shen pretty well in the top lane. It was a 20 CS lead top lane, as well as having a lot of her items already bought. Already having that Tiamat, so a good damage boost right there for her. We see the jungle sitting about even. Zed sitting about with an over 20 CS lead mid versus Kennen. Kennen not managing to take take much benefit to his poke versus Zed as he should be, as he gets the EW off. We see the stun landing on Zed, so a good amount of damage from Kennen there. We see Nunu coming mid lane to try and remove that control ward as Zed tries to follow up, trying to maybe Durst. We see Sejuani coming in from the side. Kennen dashing with the flash ulti. We see Shen coming with the ult from top lane. As the burst, we see a barrier from Kennen, not going to be able to survive it long enough as Zed just melts down Kennen. Zed's currently the score is now currently 2-0 in favor of them with a almost 1,000 gold lead in favor of them. That Shen teleport from top lane, or that Shen ult from top lane, definitely saved Zed there, or Sejuani in that fight. We see ult from Zed onto Nunu with the ignite following up. Nunu's managing to live with like 1 HP. Fiora getting the ult off onto Shen, on Zed, but not gonna be able to do anything if he manages to escape. Fiora with that dash onto Sejuani to secure the kill. We see Fiora dashing, managing to dodge the knockup. We see the taunt connecting onto Galio. Jinx securing the kill on Fiora there, not being able to escape it. The zap missing Kaiza. Kaiza managing to avoid that. Kennen moving back in the lane now. Shen dashes through the wall as they go in and now secure the first Drake of the game with a 1,500 gold lead now. A pretty substantial boost from the 500 gold lead they had almost 3 minutes ago.
Well, DOS putting a lot of pressure there in mid lane and that river, and just somehow managing to surround Wolves Blue there and take an early lead here. And
they secure the first Drake of the game, being an Ocean Drake. You see Nunu now going for his blue camp, or his blue buff, as Fiora now returns to lane. Zed coming back in from the back also as well. Kaiza pushing up lane as Alistar decided to back, but changed his mind. Kennen trying to get as much of a farm catch, or as much farm as he can mid lane while Zed's not there to be able to pressure him. Speaking of farms, go ahead and check the CC or the CS real quick. You now see Fiora sitting a 60 CS lead versus the 25 from Shen, which is a really large difference between the two. But given the fact that Shen made that, manages to sacrifice a good portion of that farm from his ulting down to onto Sejuani to help in that team fight earlier, put them ahead by giving Zed those 3 kills. We see the ult on the Kennen from Zed as the ult manages to just shred and finish off Kennen. Kennen not being able to do anything at this point against Zed. He hasn't been able to avoid much of those skill shots as Fiora now ults onto Shen, getting 3 of her 4 auto attacks off onto him and not going to be able to finish off, not being able to do much damage in that trade. Zed taking a little bit of tower damage there. Not going to be anything life-threatening to him. Let's go ahead and check the CS again. Fiora sitting about 40 CS lead top lane. Jungler sitting about even. Zed sitting about a 40 CS lead mid lane. Jinx sitting about a 25 CS lead in bot lane. And then, so overall the CS lead is in favor of DOS High. You see Fiora going back into her jungle, managing to go for that honey fruit for that healing. Taunt. Fiora managing to parry the taunt this time. This is the first one she actually managed to dodge. We see Galio or Nunu coming in with the gank top lane, forcing Shen to flash to the side. We see the Q from Sejuani, managing to get the auto attacks off. Nunu bursting down, smiting Sejuani, not going to be able to do anything. As he gets away with a little bit of health, we see the ulti from Nunu getting to secure the kill on Sejuani. So a good trade for Wolfe County there, managing to secure that kill, not losing anything major in that fight, as well as getting rid of Shen's flash. So,
but that does cut the gold lead down to what, about 1,500 now?
Yeah, the gold lead down to about 1,500. Still again in favor of DOS High, who are now currently sitting at 5-2 lead with a Ocean Drake.
But that kill also gives a little confidence boost there. I'm sure the players are starting to feel a little pressure here from this DOS High School. So, ooh, and a little snowball miss. But can they get under the tower? Ooh!
We see the Shen ulting in from top lane.
So
Zed
close.
almost getting wiped away, but Shen putting in a lot of work helping out his team here, saving Zed there with a lot of things. Kennen needing to back off because Kennen's sitting in a very dangerous, playing a very dangerous game right now with very low health, and Zed being very close. If Zed manages to land a E or a Q, he'll be able to take down Kennen no problem. As Nunu coming in, we see a teleport coming in from top lane. Fiora coming in the mid lane to try and help out. We see Zed managing to get off just a crazy amount of damage there with those shots, managing to land a good portion of his skill shot. So Zed managing to make a lot of plays here. Kennen not sitting in a very poor position. Kennen sitting 2 levels behind his mid laner here that he's trying to fight against. So Kennen needs to try and get some levels quickly if he's going to want to have a chance of fighting against Zed here. But Kennen, even though Kennen's not doing the best at this point, Kennen is known as being a champion who's got a very strong late game with just a pure amount of pure raw damage that his ult provides. And if he'll be able to use that as well as once Kennen gets his Zonya's Hourglass, that'll be able to shut down a good portion of that damage that Zed's able to put off. So if he can manage to get past these this early hurdle that Zed's put before him, he'll have no problem managing to make up for it in the late game. We see now the gold difference being about almost 2,000. Yeah, about an over 2,000 CS lead in favor of DOS High. We see the parry top lane from Fiora as she gets taunted from Shen. We see the ult activated from Fiora. She's getting 3 of her auto attacks off, dashing for that 4th auto attack. Managing to do a crazy amount of damage. We see the Q landing there. We see, as she's going to be able to finish him off, we see mid-bot lane actually going down. So Galio going back with that dash, managing to land a taunt. Sejuani coming from the side. Nunu activating his ulti, not going to be able to do much with it. Sejuani coming from the side. Galio missing his ultimate, being able to do anything with a team fight as they go down absolutely shred. Then Alistar securing the kill on Sejuani as getting a double kill for Alistar. So Jinx trying to go and see if she's going to be able to king as Jinx with the heal, but not be able to save her as Kai'Sa secures the kill. Zed, however, does claim first turret of this game mid lane. The score is now 5-5. So Wolfe K managed to shut down that gold lead from well over 2,000 to right a little over 1,000 with that one team fight right there. So good on them. If they manage to do that maybe 1 or 2 more times, they should be able to come up with a pretty good even balance. Zed pushing up mid lane now pretty heavily. Kennen sitting back, having to play very passive. We see Nunu coming in from the side with the snowball. Alistar following up. Nunu not going to be able to do anything here. Alistar coming. We see the ult from Zed onto Alistar. The knock-up. Kennen coming with the ulti, just shredding Zed. Zed forced to flash away over the wall. Kai'Sa slightly missing her W. As for Fiora flashing over the wall, dashing to secure the kill on Zed. A good bounty Zed going to reclaim too for the top leader for Wolfe County. 600 gold shutdown on Zed there. So a good follow-up from Wolfe County there. The gold shutdown, almost even now. Only a 300 gold lead for DOS High here. See, that's one of the things that shows only one or two things all it takes to completely turn a game around at this point. Wolfe County was down 2-5 at one point. Now up 6-5 with an almost even gold gold difference here. We see the taunt landing on Fiora. We see Fiora going in with the ultimate on the Shen. Shen trying to run away but be able to avoid as much damage as possible. All 4 of her autos getting off. We see the crazy amount of damage. Dashing to secure the kill. Fiora just crazy amount of damage. As
did they get the Drake down here?
Oh, yeah, they got the Drake. It's another Ocean Drake. So Wolfe Canyon also securing a Drake here. Wolfe Canyon now taking the gold lead. A 200 gold lead in favor for Wolfe County. Managing to turn around very quickly. It looked like a pretty rough start. But like I said, not only that now, Wolfe Canyon also having a decent amount of damage on their part. Actually, funny enough, the one on doing the most on Wolfe Canyon in terms of kills being the Alistar support, coming up with that CC manages to get those last little bit of damage off from the rest of his team to finish off and secure those kills, which is fine. It's not the worst thing in the world. And now an Alistar or kills towards Wolfe County is a good thing in general. So.
Well, that just provide more gold and confidence. You know, it's good all around.
See Kaiser getting a Q off on Jinx there. We see Zed moving back towards mid lane as Sejuani moves towards top lane. Nunu now going for his blue buff again. Fiora now returning back to lane after those interesting bits of those interesting fights that she was involved in. Kennen also now leaving Fountain, going back to his lane as well. Zed moving towards bot lane. Zed looking for a potential gank down towards bot lane. Kaiser missing the W on Galio and Jinx there. We see Zed coming close. If Kaiser and Alistar need to back up to get away from Zed. Kaiser moving into the... As we see the ult on Kaiser now. Alistar with that knockup. Galio coming with the ult. Oh! Alistar shreds him. Galio securing the kill on Kaiser as well. See Alistar with that CC getting ignited from Galio. Jinx falling up from the side. Alistar almost dying. We see Jinx dying to tower. As All-Star kills with that knockup, and Cannon secures the kill with the dash. Good follow-up from mid lane there, coming down to bot lane. Good rotations, good communication from Wolfe County. Great communication versus their last week or so. This is definitely an improvement over the last couple of matches that Wolfe County has played. And now Wolfe County also now Fiora and Nunu going for that Rift Herald. You see Sejuani putting a control ward over the wall, trying to see if she can get any bit of rivalry on it. We see. Just a crazy amount of damage coming from the two of them. Jinx or Sejuani looking for the steal on Rift Herald here, potentially coming over the wall as Shen ults in over. We see a Jinx ulti from the side. We see Fiora getting that kill. We see Kennen ulting to make sure shredding Shen as Kennen. Wait, it doesn't say who secured Rift Herald. I'm pretty sure Wolfe County secured Rift Herald though. Yeah, Kennen currently has Rift Herald. Kennen now dropping it mid lane as Zed comes in trying to escape as what as he can. Galio coming mid lane to try and help help Zed push that wave back, but not be able much as this Rift Herald comes in just absolutely is going to do a chunk this tower. Tower now down about 2/3 of its health gone. Not going to be able to finish it off though. Sadly, they don't have much of a wave to push up with it. A decent use of that Rift Herald to get a good damage on that mid lane tower. Definitely need to put pressure on that mid lane tower. But not managing to take it down in entirety is not going to be great for him. We see Alistar coming in from the side. We see Nunu coming, managing to get the knock-up on Zed. Galio coming in from the side. Ult from Zed onto Kaiser. Kaiser's going to be able to regulate most of the damage. We see Kaiser coming with that flashing over the wall out of safety. We see a TP from Shen down the jungle as well. Fiora coming in. We see Kaiser bursting minions down from the side. A taunt landed on Fiora as Alistar knocks that Shen away from the taunt. Galio managing to get a 3-man stun on as Galio secures a kill. Jinx securing a kill on Nunu. Kaiser managing to get the Galio. Sejuani forced to dash. Kaiser having to run away. Auto attacks on her by Jinx. A rough trade from Wolfe County there. That Galio taunt just doing a lot to really negate a lot of that stuff that Wolfe County could do there. The gold fate lead now back up to 500 in favor of DOS High. A Jinx ult thrown completely backwards. That's interesting. That might have been a misclick on their part, but nonetheless, that was a Jinx ult definitely thrown completely in the wrong direction. As DOS High now goes to secure their second tower of this game, being the second mid lane tower now. We see now the teams returning back to the lane, the top lane wave, pushing up pretty far now. Jinx going up top maybe to stop it. We see Kaiser dashing in. We see the ult from Kaiser onto Zed. Kennen flashing over, try with that ult, not be able to get anything as Zed moves away with the flash and runs away, escaping his death. Sejuani also steals the red buff from Nunu. Jinx might have gotten the blue buff as we see Alistar, Nunu, and Fiora just completely destroy that Sejuani, actually transferring the buff back to Fiora. So we now see Zed backing as Galio pushes up trying to get some vision down. Shen goes back top lane, trying to push that wave back. Kennen moving back as well, following Kai'Sa, maybe going for another dragon at this point. Galio trying to stop that blue buff being taken from Fiora, as Fiora's going to be able to secure it? Yep, Fiora secures that blue buff. Going for a third Ocean Drake this game. Ocean, that's not the most common thing, but nonetheless, 2 dragons in favor of Wolf Canny is definitely better. Just definitely a positive in this case. And Wolf Canny now moving towards mid lane now, trying to get some heavy push power down. Trying to go ahead and get that second tower now. Go ahead and get this be the first mid tower fallen also. As Sejuani, Zed, and Galio managed to defend and push Wolf Canny back from that tower. Jinx also following up, allowing Shen to get some split pushing in top lane. If Wolf Canny does come in, though, Shen does have the potential. Even though it is a 4v5, DOS would not be completely wouldn't be mistaken to want to engage in a team fight here, because Shen does have his ultimate, which can come in with that shield and make it immediately into a 5v5 if the need arises. Now, unless Wolf Canny does have the opportunity to manage to do more damage and manage to kill the person who Shen ults onto before he gets teleported in there, that'll be a major disadvantage for them, for DOS High in that favor. So, we see now Wolf Canny going clearing control ward out of Pixel Brush as they move up towards Baron Pit. We see Fiora and Nunu now, as well as Alistar and Kai'Sa. The entirety of Wolf Canny moving towards top lane. Fiora dashes in. Nunu coming with that snowball from downtown. Get the Q knockup. We see Galio coming with that ult from downtown, getting to do as nothing's going to be able to save Shen from getting demolished by Fiora. We see the redemption coming in from them. Also, Kennen securing the kill on Galio there, so good on their part. TP in from Fiora mid lane. As the parry comes in, we see the ulti onto Fiora from Zed. Not to be able to do much to her, though, as she managed to dodge and evade all of that damage. Fiora now coming with that damage. We see the Shred as Zed manages to secure that kill. Nunu coming from the side, landing the snowball on Zed, but managing to get the bite off, trying to run away. Zed managed to get off his, looks like Zed flashed there. Yeah, Zed flashed. Sejuani comes in from the side too, going in, engaging on Nunu now. Jinx coming in from the side, managing to land a zap on him, getting those rocket auto attacks. An ult from Nunu, a knock up from Alistar. We see the passive proc on Alistar as well. We see the ult from Shen coming in on Sejuani, and she's going to come in from the side. Shen landing a 4-man stun or taunt on them as Jinx is able to kill Kennen there. Wolf Canny now having forced to run away. An ulti from Jinx there, doing a good amount of damage to the 2 tanks for Wolf Canny. Alistar and Nunu taking a noticeable chunk of damage there from that Jinx ult. A decent trade on both teams there. Wolf Canny just being slightly caught out. That Shen taunt coming in definitely did a good portion. Definitely benefited DOS High there and gave them the favor for that team fight. So, decent, good communication on their part, too. Wolf Canny now moves back up to lane. We see Alistar, Kai'Sa, Fiora, and Nunu back in mid lane as Kennen now leaves his fountain going back up. Shen and Sejuani moving towards bot side as Zed pushes the bot lane. Galio coming up with him, trying to get that first bot wave tower. Galio and Fiora moving some wards placed. Galio sitting behind the wall, waiting for maybe a potential team fight. We see Nunu coming in from the side, managing to land the snowball onto Zed as Nunu manages to get a snowball barrage off. Zed trying to come in with those team fights. Looks like Zed looking for an ult opportunity here as he's going to back off. Sejuani getting her Q off. We see the knock-up from Alistar coming in here, landing on Shen. We see a Fiora shredding Shen there as we see a 3-man taunt from Galio as the redemption is going to come in, not going to be able to save Fiora as she goes in. The ult on a Fiora from Zed. The ult coming from Jinx, missing all of Wolf Canny there from out of nowhere. The ignite on Zed's going to take but not be able to finish her off as Fiora manages to shut down Jinx as well. Wolf Canny might be trying to go and get Zed here. Zed would be a pretty good shutdown for Wolf Canny at this point. 150 golds would definitely be a bit of a boost. As it looks now that Wolf Canny instead is going to be... So we see Alistar going back bot lane now with Kai'Sa and Fiora. We see Kennen moving back towards mid lane. Sejuani goes to clear her jungle camps. Zed now moves back out of Fountain, as well as Galio and Shen. Shen going back top lane, going to try and get that split push. Probably finally going to try and go and get his first top lane tower, which has been sitting at a pretty low health for a little while now. His wave is definitely pushed out, making it a little bit easier for him to do so. Nunu now is backed also and is moving back up to lane. Kai'Sa now backing in her bush. Fiora sitting there waiting. as Sejuani moves up to clear some wards. Let's go ahead and check the CS real quick while nothing major is going on. Fior sitting at a 148 to 67 lead over Shen. That's almost an 80 CS difference. Yeah, there's an 80 CS difference. 80 CS difference in favor of Fior there. We see Sejuani sitting about a 10 CS lead versus Nunu. Zed sitting at a over 100 CS lead versus Kennen, which is very rough for Kennen. Kennen definitely needing to pick up the slack on that farming there and get that back up. We see Jinx also sitting at about a 40 CS lead versus Kai'Sa. But Kai'Sa sitting at a 2-1 score. Pretty good score there for her, sort of makes up for it. As we now see Wolfgang going for the first Infernal Drake of the game, but not going to be able to do anything as the entirety of DOS High comes in and just manages to secure it. Galio securing the Infernal Drake. We see Nunu with the ulti, not going to be able to do much. Galio getting a 4-man taunt off as he goes as well with the ulti. See Kennen coming with the ult from the side, popping his Zhonya's, as well as his barrier, trying to run away, getting away from that. We see Kai'Sa just shredding Sejuani as Fior also gets jinxed. Kennen coming in from the side as well. We see a double knock-up. We see Kai'Sa trading Fior getting a triple kill, and Alistar securing that last kill on Shen, acing DOS High. Now going for a very easy Baron. Very good decision to win for that team fight right there. Good engage on all parts. Kennen taking a very good amount of damage, but being able to dish out as well as that ulti as well as his Zhonya's. No, Wolfgang not losing a single person in that fight, mind you, as well. So, good fight on Wolfgang's part there. As they're not going to be able to secure completely uninhibited, uncontested Baron with some crazy pushing power. Wolfgang now sitting at a 23-12 kill difference. Down, however, 3 towers, but this Baron's definitely going to make up for it. If they can get used to this Baron, they should be able to get towers no problem. Specifically that mid tower sitting at very low health. Teams are now, Wolfgang all have now backed. Meanwhile, all of DOS High have now respawned. Nunu now tries to go back up to push using that Wolfgang now all converging mid, trying to use the best of that Baron buff to push that lane back up. Get that first mid lane tower would definitely be of help to them. See the zap from Jinx coming down, managing not to connect with the Fiora. We see the Q from Sejuani are not connecting either. We see some auto attacks from Jinx doing some pretty good damage there. Jinx or Kai'Sa's W managing to land on the Galio. The tower for mid lane sitting at very low health at this point, mind you. But DOS High doing everything they can to protect that tower and not let it fall. Both teams, DOS High playing very defensive as Wolfgang goes. Sitting in bush, might be looking to try and engage on a fight here, but not going to be able to do much as the entirety of their team gets vision. We see the snowball coming in. Nunu not going to be able to connect the snowball with anybody. Missed Q from Sejuani there. We see the W connecting onto Sejuani from Kai'Sa. Some more damage. A little bit here and there on the turret from the minions. So little by little, Wolfgang taking down that turret with that minion, aggro. Both teams playing very defensive now at this point. Wolfgang does, however, have the upper hand at this point with that Baron buff for sure.
But you know that Baron buff is not going to last forever. Wolfgang is going to have to make some move here pretty soon if they hope to utilize that buff.
Yeah, Wolfgang definitely has to take benefit of that buff in the next 2 or 3 minutes because it will despawn pretty soon. So almost half the time is gone on that Baron buff, mind you. So
where's it?
It's been about 2 or 3 minutes.
Does it show on here?
Yeah, you can just script down. It's like 5 minute long, and they've been about 2 or 3 minutes with it. So we see DOS High again sitting in front of that tower, absolutely trying to avoid as much possible damage as they can to it, pushing that wave up. As Wolfgang pushes the waves back, we see Nunu coming in from the side with that snowball, going to connect onto Galio, but not be able to follow doing anything with it. We see Wolfgang now going in. We see Fiora dashing in from the side, Galio dashing in, not going to be able to do anything, forcing Galio to flash away, taking a heavy amount of damage in that that attempt to disengage them from that tower as well.
They did take the tower, so that was a good win for Wolf Blue.
Wolfgang did too take advantage of that buff there, at least for taking that first tower mid lane. So,
and it looks like they may be rotating up top here to take a top tower maybe or something.
Yeah, it looks like Wolfgang now rotating towards top side here as they move through the top side jungle, potentially looking for any invading DOS High player. Actually, no, we see it engage. We see Nunu coming in with that snowball. Is going to be able to connect it onto Sejuani. Not going to be able to connect it as she dashes over the wall. We see the W from Kaiser there connecting on Jinx. Jinx's W missing on anybody.
But they are going to go up and take this tower here.
We see Wolfgang now going up top lane, forcing Shen to use his E to escape from Wolfgang's team. The W connecting onto Fiora. DOS High now sitting top lane, being ever so vigilant, trying to defend that tower from falling, unlike their mid lane tower, which they couldn't defend because it was sitting at such a low health at that point. It was pretty much impossible for him to defend it for that long. So Wolfgang now going to see Snowball Barrage hitting a couple of shots onto Sejuani there. Okay, Wolfgang now pushing back up, playing a little defensive. The Baron buff now is gone, so Wolfgang doesn't have that to be able to use. Alistar getting that two-man knockup. Gallant coming with that knockup. So we see an ulti from Zed onto, then we see the ult from Sejuani as well. We see Kennen coming in from the side. Kennen ulting and flashing, dropping in so we see there's so much going on now I can't even tell. Kai'Sa kills Sejuani, Kennen kills Galio. We see an ult from Shen onto Jinx.
That was
forcing Kai'Sa also healing, popping a heal
trade there.
2 for 2 trade, yeah. Wolfgang losing their top and mid lane. Meanwhile, DOS High loses their jungle and their support. So some would say it was probably I would say that team fight was slightly more in favor of DOS High, how they took out 2 higher priority targets from Wolfe County. Or at least the one higher priority being the top laner, being Fiora. Fiora doing a lot of damage on that part. Giving a 600 gold shutdown to Galio. But of all people to get the shutdown on her, Galio would be the one that would be the least of a threat for Wolfe County being the support, getting that shutdown. We see Alistar and Nunu now moving towards the bot side jungle, going to look maybe for a potential dragon steal as Jinx and Zed go to secure that first, or secure the or the Cloud Drake. Sorry. So the Drake now. DOS High sitting with 3 Drakes. We see the Nunu coming with that snowball, managing to miss it sadly. Zed coming from the side. Alistar coming in with that knockup as Zed ults onto Alistar or Nunu. Nunu flashing over the wall. Alistar just taking a ton of damage there. We did not do much right there, sadly enough. We see Fiora just getting CC'd to death. Galio with that ult. We see 3 people getting CC'd from Galio. Here we see Kenny with that ult flash over the thing with his stopwatch. Fiora getting a double kill too. Fiora's crazy lifesteal has just managed to save her so much in this fight.
Another 2 for 2 there.
Jinx has a potential to get a triple. If Jinx managed to land her ultimate here on them, then without them being able to do anything about it, she would get a pretty easy triple kill right there. They're all sitting at very low health. Wolfgang now sitting a 20. It's now currently 27-16. 3 Drakes versus 27-16 in favor of Wolfgang. 3 Drakes versus 2 in favor of DOS High, with a 2,000 CS lead in favor of Wolfe County, but 2 tower lead in favor of DOS. So it's a very matched game. Surprising what people would think, even though the kills are vastly different in favor of Wolfe County, a lot of the objectives are in favor of DOS High, so they do have that advantage on them as well. So we're going to check the CS real quick. As we see, Fiora sits at 176 versus 95, about an 80 CS lead versus Shen. Mid jungler sitting even on their CS difference. We see, God, almost 150 gold lead in favor, 150 CS lead in favor. Oh, we see something going on here, potentially. No, okay, they're just
Baron,
going for
Baron. They're going for Baron.
Wolfgang maybe going for a Baron here. We see Wolfgang engaging on the Baron. This might turn out to be a big fight right here. Shen sitting over the wall. We see Galio sitting there as well, potentially looking for that Sejuani or Shen to engage on them. We see Zed coming over the wall. An ult on Kennen. As Wolfgang manages to not do much in that fight, the entirety of their team is getting demolished in that fight right there. As, sadly enough, DOS High manages to just completely wipe them out in a team fight under Baron. That was not a good call for Wolfgang there, I'm not going to lie. Them managing to go on that Baron while the entirety of DOS High was up was just a bad call to make. I feel like they were a little, I don't think what the word is, but, they were a little, I don't know what the word is. Wolfgang definitely being a little, I don't know. Wolfgang definitely feeling, good after that first Baron, wanted to go for that second one, but it definitely did not work in their favor. As DOS High is now just pushing the lane without any resistance now, getting that inhibitor tower, getting that inhib now, just shredding through minions now. All of Wolfgang down. Kai'Sa now up. Actually, all of Wolfgang now just respawning in, but they're not going to be able to do much as at this point. As Alistar comes in with that knockup, we see Gallia coming from the side, Nunu coming with that snowball. As Gallia comes in with that taunt, getting a 3-man taunt off, flashing. Alistar coming from the side. That knockup, we see some shredding. We see Jinx coming in. We see the ult from Shen. Jinx with that double kill. Ulti from Jinx. The parry from Fiora saving her, but not going to be able to do anything enough. Jinx just shredding their team with those auto attacks. But not going to be, as Wolfe County forced to back and go back into Fountain. And DOS High going to be victorious in this first matchup against Wolfe County. They're taking off one time. But yeah, DOS High becoming the winners for this game. So the first game winning goes to DOS High.
And we'll be back in just a few minutes with round number 2. Thank you all for joining us out there.